Welcome to Rewatch and Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each of the episodes against each other. And today's episode is Naruto Prologue Land of Waves Arc, Episode 15, Zero Visibility, The Sharingan Shatters. Episode in a nutshell is a brief reminder of what happened in the episode. So this one is pretty much what it says on the tin. They're still fighting. So Kakashi and Zabuza begin their fight because last episode they were just kind of gossiping. Now this episode they decide to actually start their fight, or rather Kakashi decides he has to save Naruto and Sasuke because they're not doing well against Haku. Zabuza then tries to stop him. And while he and Zabuza are fighting each other, Zabuza, through a series of flashbacks, reveals to Kakashi that he's figured out some of the secrets of the Sharingan. For example, back when they fought at like that lake or pond or whatever it was, Kakashi basically feigned that he was reading Zabuza's mind, which psyched him out, which gave Kakashi an advantage. In this one, Zabuza basically reveals that I'm on to you. Actually, I know that you weren't reading my mind. You were just mimicking me like a fraction of a second behind me, so it looked like you were reading my mind, but you can't do that if you can't see me, so he makes everything very cloudy. And then, that leaves Kakashi at a disadvantage because now he cannot see, so his Sharingan's pretty much useless. But of course, he's still a skilled shinobi, so they're still fighting. And then he realizes that Zabuza's kind of faked him out, and that his target all along is, of course, Tazuna. So by the end of the episode, the last scene of this particular episode is Zabuza attacking at Tazuna, Kakashi trying to make it on time. We see blood, and then Sakura, of course, screams, and that's the last scene of this episode. Parallel to all of this, while this is going on, is of course Naruto and Sasuke are still fighting Haku. They're still trapped in the Dome of Ice Mirrors, and it's a bit repetitive to what we had already seen. Naruto keeps making shadow clones, Haku keeps defeating them. Sasuke, he's growing in that he has started to be able to see kind of like the droplets of water where Haku's passing. He manages to singe his pantaloons, whatever type of short pants, really wide pants that he's wearing. I'm sure there's an actual name for it. I don't know what that is though. But either way, he singes the hem of Haku's pants. And then he tries to repeat that. Haku tells him it's pointless and he just got lucky. And then he sends Naruto to try to get out. That doesn't work. He then tries to get out, and Haku is a little bit more vicious in his attack, peppering them with a bunch of senbon that actually are like digging into them rather than just scratching them. But that is where their episode ends at this point, with Sasuke being almost able to see Haku, and Naruto just basically helping him out to help him to be able to see. And that's about it. So now that we've been reminded what happened in the episode, it is time to rank the episode, first on the mostly objective ranking, followed by the personal ranking. And surprise, mostly objective rank values, none of them applied. Like, they just didn't, because even though Sasuke's on the way to growth, he hasn't actually grown. There's no new attacks that anyone's doing. Zabuza used the mist technique earlier in the previous time that he and Kakashi fought, when he fought against Sasuke and Naruto as well, so that's not new. Kakashi hasn't entered anything new. They're doing more just like the baseline fighting and a lot of flashbacks to remind us how the previous fight went. Naruto and Sasuke, they're basically repeating what they've already done, shadow clones, the fireball jutsu, trying to see Haku, and of course, we know next episode there's going to be a ton of growth, but this episode there wasn't any growth. Sakura is still just standing with Tazuna. None of the fights have resolved themselves. There wasn't any world building or anything new because they're just fighting, which they've already been doing. Nothing iconic or memorable, overly impactful came out. There wasn't anything that to get you emotional. So like literally nothing applied on the positive side. On the negative side, again, they were just fighting. I didn't see anything on the negative side either. So this episode, 0. Like, there's nothing that applied. And so the lowest score possible is a 1. So that regrettably makes this a 1 out of 10 episode, at least on the mostly objective ranking. Which then brings our list to, in first, enter Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke and Sakura, friends or foes, You Failed, Kakashi's Final Decision, A Dangerous Mission, Journey to the Land of Waves, The Assassin of the Mist, The Oath of Pain, Kakashi Sharingan Warrior, My Name is Konohamaru, The Forest of Chakra, Pass or Fail Survival Test, Battle on the Bridge, Zabuza Returns, Haku's Secret Jutsu, Demonic Mirroring Ice Crystals, The Land Where a Hero Once Lived, the number 1 hyperactive Knucklehead Ninja joins the fight, and then this episode is in last place because when more than one episode has the same score, it's ranked in episode order, and so in 15th we have Zero Visibility, The Sharingan Shatters. Now, my personal ranking is higher, obviously, than the mostly objective ranking because the fight is still exciting. You're still getting, some action on the screen. You're seeing the hints and the seeds being planted for Sasuke's growth in the next episode. The fights get a little bit more vicious at the end. The adults stop gossiping and start fighting. So it is exciting. There is something visually on screen that is interesting, but again, there were no new powers that were shown. Some of the fighting, example, Haku versus Naruto and Sasuke, is a bit repetitive, as I mentioned in the summary. Kakashi and Zabuza, most of their fight is also intermixed with flashbacks and more like testing each other or countering each other, but not necessarily like an active clash, 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 clash fight. It's like not as exciting as it could be. It's very much like a middle of the way episode in the fighting where we're just getting things from where they started to where the true action and growth is going to take place in the future. And so for that reason, I decided to give it a 5 out of 10. I did give it a high 5 out of 10 in that it is the highest among the other ranked 5 episodes, but it is still, in my opinion, average because it is building to something and not necessarily where it's at. And again, I already gave my reasons: repetitive and no growth, etc. So that brings the personal ranking to The Oath of Pain, A Dangerous Mission, Journey to the Land of Waves, My Name is Konohamaru, The Assassin of the Mist, Pass or Fail Survival Test, Enter Naruto Uzumaki, You Failed, Kakashi's Final Decision, Sasuke and Sakura, Friends or Foes. This episode came in 9th place, Zero Visibility, The Sharingan Shatters. Then we had Kakashi Sharingan Warrior, the number 1 hyperactive Knucklehead Ninja joins the fight, Haku's Secret Jutsu, Demonic Mirroring Ice Crystals, Battle on the Bridge, Zabuza Returns, The Forest of Chakra, and in last place so far for me personally is The Land Where a Hero Once Lived. And that brings us to the series rankings so far. So on our mostly objective ranking, we currently have 105 out of 190 so far. And on the personal ranking side, we have 83 out of a possible 190 so far. With that, we have now rewatched and ranked Naruto Prologue / Land of Waves arc, Episode 15, Zero Visibility, The Sharingan Shatters. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.